all throughout high school and up until I was maybe a sophomore in college. So 16 to 20 years old. A while. I was a degenerate. I was constantly drinking, partying, doing nothing productive with my time whatsoever. My emotions were up and down, roller coaster. I had anxiety, awful. I probably was not a pleasant human to be around. I'm surprised people put up with me because I was constantly screaming about something that just didn't even matter or complaining. My relationships were awful. I had a huge friend group of people, and none of them were actually truly my friend. I was in community college, but for no reason and didn't actually care at all if I learned anything. So I would just get C's or even fail. I think I might have failed a class or two somehow. I had no money. I never went to the gym. I only ate candy and pizza and drank alcohol and made little margaritas. And I got tired of it after a while, you know? I was like, I want to be someone who is admirable. And no part of my life is admirable in any way, shape, or form. One day I came to that conclusion. Um, and obviously, my mental health wasn't good either. So I knew that something had to change. But I always just blamed everyone else for it. Not not like actually it was like it's your fault. But I always had an excuse. Always had an excuse for why I was the way I was. But truly, I was just lazy. I didn't give a fuck what anyone thought of me, which has pros and it has cons. Because no one would ever want to be like me. I wasn't doing anything productive. I wasn't helping anyone. I was just rotting away. But I knew I couldn't live like that forever. And I did want to be happy and healthy. And so I started watching motivational speeches on YouTube. I think that's what really propelled my self improvement journey, or whatever you want to call it. I started watching people like Gary Vee. This podcast on Spotify that I found was called Mindset Mentor, which are all great people. I don't really listen anymore because I already learned what I came there to learn, but they were still good nonetheless. But I remember Gary Vee drilled this in my head, and this is what I believe first really got me going, got me to figure out what the fuck's going on. He told me that, told me personally, it was a YouTube video, but he told me that his default mode of thinking is to think everything is his fault. Anything that happens during the day. He could get in a car crash. He could be not moving in the car and have someone hit him with their car and be like, oh shit, this is my fault immediately. This is my fault. How do I fix it? So many, I have so many examples. Let me think of another one. Just literally anything you can think of. Someone spills coffee on you. Well, I shouldn't have been walking in their way. Someone is mean to you. You're getting coffee. Someone steps on your foot. Well, I shouldn't have been in the way. Like, okay, these are bad examples. Whatever, you get the point. Everything is his fault. Now, obviously, that sounds bad because what if you get like robbed? Obviously, it's not your fucking fault that you got robbed. And like, what if you get like sexually assaulted? Obviously, it's not really your fault that you got sexually assaulted. That's not a good way to think. But when you train yourself to think everything is your responsibility, that's when shit gets real. Once I learned that everything in my life, everything, every little tiny thing about my reality and the way that I live, and every single thing that happened to me or around me was because of me, that's when shit clicked for me. Everything. No excuses. I used to have so many excuses, y'all. So many fucking excuses for the way that I was. But after like the third boyfriend, that was crazy. I started to realize, oh shit, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. So, anyways, you gotta take responsibility for every single aspect of your life. It may not be your fault that it happened to you. You know, it's not my fault that my parents are divorced. Obviously, I shouldn't blame myself for horrible shit that happened to me, you know. But we don't need to focus on blaming others either. We just need to think, this is what happened to me, and I'm gonna either take responsibility or stay the same. Do I want to stay where I'm at? No? Then I need to take responsibility and figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do about it. Okay, I moved because my back was aching. Where was I? So the second thing I learned was after I read The Secret. Disclaimer, The Secret isn't everything. Because it can be bad if you take that book and think that that's all you need to be happy and successful. Because it's probably not. And you can also take it in such an unrealistic way. But if you don't know what The Secret is, The Secret is just a book that teaches the law of attraction. The law of attraction is this philosophy that claims that your thoughts become your reality. So everything you think about yourself and everything you believe about yourself and everything you say about yourself shows up. It manifests into your reality, which is fucking true. But some people take it to this unrealistic way, this unrealistic side of things where they're like, oh, then if I just write down in my journal, I have $1,000,000, I'm a billionaire. Like, you gotta put some action behind it, because if you don't have any action behind these thoughts, especially something so unrealistic as I'm a billionaire, when all you do is sit at home and work at fucking McDonald's or something, like, you're never gonna be able to trick your brain into believing you're actually a millionaire or a billionaire or whatever the fuck you're believing. Like, if it's just so wildly unrealistic and you're sitting there forever trying to convince yourself that it's true, that's just not gonna work. Like, you gotta put some action behind it. If you believe you're a billionaire and then start doing billionaire activities, then it might work. But anyways, it starts simple though. Like, if you think that you're fat, or you think that you're ugly, or whatever the case may be, let's just go with the fat one to be simple. If you believe you're fat, then you're gonna act as though you're fat. So you're gonna wake up every day and you're never gonna work out and you're never gonna eat healthy food. You're just gonna eat a bunch of junk. You're gonna eat milkshakes and pizza and shit because you're fat. So that's what fat people do. But if you believe that you're healthy and skinny and, or well, not skinny, that's a bad example. But if you believe you're healthy, then you're gonna wake up every day and eat healthy shit. Like, that's just, if you're a healthy person, you eat healthy food. Duh. Anyways, but be fucking for real. Like, don't write 10 times in your journal, I'm a millionaire, and then go back about your life and not change a single fucking thing. Like, obviously, it's not gonna work. Don't be dumb. Be fucking for real for a second. But you can be a little delusional. Like, you kind of have to be a little delusional. Nothing crazy, but be a little delusional. Like, the first thing that ever proved to me that this shit's real was something stupid and delusional. I wanted a fat ass. I was always like a skinny fat type of girl. Like, you know, I mean, my body's pretty much the same, but I it changed a little, alright? I wanted a fat ass. I thought that was the coolest thing in the motherfucking world. I wanted to be a little Instagram model with a fat ass, like skinny waist, fat ass. And so I started, and then I read The Secret, and so then I was like, oh my god, if I just convince myself, if I just believe in my mind that my ass is already fat, maybe it'll work. And it fucking did. It really did. See, now, I don't know if my ass actually did get fat because sometimes I'll like go back in my camera roll and compare the photos. And like, there's not that much of a difference. But that's not the fucking point because guess what? I started telling myself in the mirror in my head, sometimes out loud, but don't be conceited out loud. It's rude. I do sometimes. To my close friends, okay? But I started looking in the mirror like, damn, I'm thick as fuck. I got that cake. And I started doing that for a long time. Everyone started telling me, everybody in my life, all my friends constantly, like, oh my god, your ass, so huge. It got to the point where I knew this shit was real because I would go to work and my coworkers, like, I would be training someone at work that I just met, and my coworkers in my work setting would be like, oh my god, girl, like, your ass, how'd you do that? Now, keep in mind, I went to the gym and I did my little squats and my little booty band or whatever the fuck. We'll do a gym progression video another day because I don't do none of that shit anymore. Well, I don't do the little booty exercise. I'm getting so off track. I convinced myself that was my ass was fat. I put a little bit of effort behind it, okay? I did like an ass workout every week. Okay? So I did something. I took the action that someone with a fat ass would take. I went to the gym and did my squats and ate my protein. And then everyone in my reality started telling me how fat my ass was. It worked, okay? It just works. Like, I know it works. But this is the simplest explanation I have for you as to why I know it works. Like, if I believe I'm pretty, the prettier I think I am, the prettier I'm gonna get. I know that for a fact. Energy doesn't lie, alright? But Bob Proctor also explained to me that these positive thoughts and the flow of energy, it's kind of like a river. Either, I forgot the fucking analogy, but I always imagine a river, but one side of the river flows one way and the other side flows this way. It doesn't even make sense now that I'm thinking about it. Either you're flowing one direction or you're flowing. Rivers don't stop moving. Otherwise, it's a fucking lake. Rivers always are flowing. So either you're flowing in a positive direction or you're flowing in a negative direction. It's one way or the other. So figure out what the fuck you're doing right now and start putting positive thoughts into your head so you can flow the other way. You gotta turn around. You gotta flow a different direction if you're flowing negatively. So if you have more negative thoughts than you do positive thoughts, you're flowing in a negative direction. Reverse it. Also, I used to think that I couldn't change my thoughts. Because yeah, you have like intrusive thoughts where you just think things and you have no control over it, but you fucking have control over your thoughts. Do not believe that you don't have control over your thoughts. You do. Because you can deliberately put thoughts in your head. Like if I tell you right now, think of an elephant. Did you think of an elephant? I just deliberately put a thought into your head. Like, what do you mean you can't control your thoughts? Yes, you fucking can. What are you talking about? Be fucking for real. You can control your thoughts. So if you don't have positive thoughts right now, if you don't have a lot of them, and you want more, you have to deliberately pause yourself. pause and think. Yeah, like it sounds stupid at first, but eventually it becomes natural if you keep doing it. So stop and think. So if you have to get out your journal every single day and write down, I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, rhymes. If you have to do that, do it. Because you need to start thinking positive thoughts. That's the first step. Whatever it takes. But don't just do the positive thought affirmation thing in your journal for 2 minutes a day. You got to do it all the time. You got to start thinking all the time. When you wake up in the morning to when you go to bed. And then even in your fucking dreams. But it'll go from your conscious to your subconscious. The more deliberate thoughts you put in, the more will get down to your subconscious, and the more that you'll actually genuinely believe that to be true, and then your reality will change around you. It just is how it works. I don't make the rules. But the last thing you can do that's the most simple is just get rid of your bad habits and replace them with healthy ones. So I made a list of bad habits for examples. If you don't think it's a bad habit, it's probably your limiting beliefs trying to trick you. So get that out. So if I read this list of bad habits and you in your head are like, well, it's not that bad because your brain's just lying to you. You gotta ignore that. You gotta be like, no, it is bad. Use your best judgment. Going to bars or clubs all the time, like consistently going to bars and clubs, processed food, shit talking, complaining, having a messy space, messy bedroom, a messy house, casual sex, unprotected sex. You know, you can make that safe, obviously. Not all casual sex is bad. I'm not here to tell you that. That's for your therapist. But you know what I mean, like being reckless about sex. That's obviously dangerous. Talking to numerous guys at once and leading them on and lying. Social media, endless scrolling. If you're producing content, good. But if you're just constantly consuming, I mean, come on. I know you're thinking limiting beliefs right now. Like, well, social media is good because I learned. Read a book. Sleeping with your makeup on, laying around all day, binging Netflix all day, spending all your free time with, like, I'm saying all your free time with your friends, like a lot of it. You gotta save some for yourself, and you gotta save some for creating, girl. Toxic relationships, drinking alcohol, smoking nicotine, doing other drugs that are bad for you, procrastination, starting something and not finishing it, not keeping your word, saying you're gonna do some shit and then, oh no, but excessive shopping. I notice a lot of people have shopping addictions. Anyways, the list goes on and on forever. If you have bad habits, you gotta write them all out, and then you gotta think of what you can do to replace them. So next time you go to do the bad habit that you're thinking of right now, remember what you decided you're gonna replace it with, and go do that instead. Journaling. These are good habits that you can replace it with. And then I gotta go. Journaling, meditating, cooking, cleaning, going on walks, breath work, reading, creating art, music, making content, etc. Playing, as in connecting with your inner child, doing stuff you used to do as a child, painting, whatever. Eating enough protein, watering your damn plants, planning, making to-do lists, organizing your calendar, organizing your room, or like actual physical things, or just organizing your life in general. Dancing, yoga, volunteering, budgeting, complimenting other people, lifting weights, doing cardio, sauna, cold exposure, going to the grocery store, learning, expressing gratitude. This shit goes on and on forever, but you fucking get the point. I gotta go to work. Take responsibility for your actions. Deliberately plant a fuck ton of positive thoughts and be as delusional as you want. Fuck it. If you do want to be a millionaire, fucking right, I'm a millionaire in your journal. Believe that you're a millionaire, but you gotta put some action behind it. Like, don't be stupid. Do something that a millionaire would do. And then you'll like truly, truly believe it if you put the action behind it. Try to replace all of your bad habits is the goal. Seems like an impossible goal right now, I'm sure, but that is the goal. Write down all your bad habits, try to replace them with good habits. Eat a fucking broccoli. Read a book, please. Okay, I gotta go. Love you, bye.